Hello everybody, I'm Cas.
And I'm Aria, and welcome to our podcast, Wayward Sisters. And this week we're talking about Cas and Crowley, the unlikely duo, the angel and the demon.
My favorite Destiel breakup rebound, if you will. I love them. Their energy, offsets each other so well. Especially, Crowley's sarcasm and Cass's lack of understanding it.
Yeah, let's see, English. The first time they really get together would be, season 6. Yeah, season 6, when they're trying to, open up purgatory and swallow all the souls for power. And it's done behind the backs of everyone, and it's that one episode, you know the episode. What's...
The Man Who Would Be King, I think, is the one.
The Man Who Would Be King, where we see everything, from the beginning of their alliance to
the Destiel breakup.
Yeah. Till the Destiel breakup, and then it goes on to the Crowley breakup. But here's the thing. The whole Man Who Would Be King, if you hear that an angel and a demon teamed up, you'd be like, they're like enemies. Why would they ever do that? And this episode makes it so perfectly clear. And I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, as much as the good chemistry that it gave us between the two of them, it also was good for the plot as well. So, dual purpose. You aren't just throwing it in there for fan service, hey, we could do this. But it also is central to the plot. Love that.
And then I think it's season 12 when they're back together again, by themselves. And it's at least Cas has better social cues, understanding of social cues, but he's just so over Crowley's shit. The whole scene that's oh, you're just mad because you were my second choice, and he's all, no, I think it's sweet. That whole interaction is very near and dear to my heart. The whole
Cas in that acts they had broken up and they just were forced back together, and so they just have this unbridled headbutting thing, but they don't hate each other, but they do hate each other, and it's this really weird thing, but they play it off so perfectly.
It's they don't hate each other, but they definitely don't like each other. And it's
yeah.
It's they really are the epitome of an unlikely duo, because it's he Crowley's so quick-witted and kind of mean and will read someone to filth without a second thought, and Cas barely understands metaphors by the end of season 6.
Yeah, he's a little inept.
And as badly as Crowley wants the Winchesters dead in their everybody knows how much they mean to Cas, so it's that whole thing is just another added to the list of the reasons why they should not be friends. Of I want the two people you love the most dead on the floor. Please don't do that. That kind of thing.
Toxic relationship.
Yeah, no, literally. Except the please don't do that is more of an, if you touch one hair on their heads, I will kill you. Which, understandable. I get that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The one thing I really enjoy about Crowley is he's just a businessman. He has no morality. He enjoys pain. He is a masochist. And he enjoys power, and he likes controlling people. But he has no morality. He does not stick to one thing over another. If it's good for him, that's all that matters.
Yeah, right.
And so making those kind of sacrifices, not killing the Winchesters, he might want to, but it's a part of his business deal. And Cass can appreciate that, even though he doesn't really understand the directness with which Crowley, thinks about things. Crowley is very, logical, set in stone, lawyer. Yeah. And then Cass is, the little kid that he's trying to wrap up in a deal. But they end up playing off it pretty perfectly because Cass is always underestimated. And he's a lot more powerful and quick-witted than you generally think.
I had a thing, and now I can't remember what it was. It'll come back to me, but I don't remember what it was. I do, however... Oh! I remember the thing. I say Crowley's character development from, when we first meet him till the end of season 12. Also, I would like to note that they died in the same episode in the exact same way. They both got stabbed by an angel blade. Fun fact. But the character development to, I will kill the Winchesters just to see the look on your face, to the I'll sacrifice myself for the Winchesters because they need to be alive, is very, a very underrated thing. I know Cass and Dean had very good character development, even though we're not going to talk about season 15 throwing Dean's development out the window. But, Crowley really turned, a corner with the whole, I hate them, they're annoying, and they mess all of my plans up, to these are my best friends, and I will not let something happen to them.
They are endearing, lumbering piles of flannel.
They're, two eerily suited Teen Beat models with time on their hands during season 6, apparently.
Well, we mustn't forget that he also did sacrifice himself so Lucifer would get trapped in another dimension. But
that's true.
It was also... He also gave himself up instead of killing someone else.
Right, he could have killed Sam.
He could have killed them, but he was like, I do care for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hate Lucifer. And I really probably hate myself.
Aww.
So, yeah, but he did, he turned, quote-unquote, good in the end.
Quote-unquote.
Because, doing one good action doesn't make up for a lifetime of bad decisions.
But also, Crowley going into into Cass's vessel while he was possessed by Lucifer to try to get him to get his shit together and be like, okay, we gotta go. You don't have time to be sitting around. And the whole come on, Cass, the Winchesters are out there, they need your help. They need you to expel Lucifer. And that whole thing was very sweet. He smokes out and everyone's like, oh yeah, typical. But it's
But yeah, he did it, He does what is necessary.
Right.
And he's not a team sort of person. He does his side, you do your side, and then confer when needed. So he'll just go up and do whatever he needs to do, unless it's pertinent that he stays. And, he's just a businessman. And I think it's funny how they play into that. He has a very strict way of, being. And, with how wild all the other characters are, it's just funny how they play into it. Also, it's also kind of weird. The whole getting addicted to human blood thing that made him, want to be human-esque.
Yeah. The whole, you don't know what it's like to be human.
To be
that
human.
Whole thing. And stealing candy from a vending machine. And the whole, at least when Cass was human, he was a decent guy. It's what do you expect? An angel went human, of course he's going to be a half-decent guy. A demon goes human, and all hell breaks loose. Pun intended.
Did you ever see that, headcanon that... it's something to do with the show. Crowley said that he had dealings with a certain angel, with something back in Mesopotamia era. And we know for a fact that, Rowena is like 400 years old or something like that. And he was most likely born in like the Middle Ages or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So how did Crowley have dealings in Mesopotamia, right? I mean, granted, time travel thing, so that might also be like an answer for that. But I read this like a while ago, and it stuck in my head, that Crowley was once an angel. He fell. Like, he was an angel in Mesopotamia times, and he fell and became Rowena's child. And then, as a human, he died, went to hell, and became an angel, and then became a demon.
It's a possibility. I think that would be really cool. It would also explain the, like, I almost want to call it, like, an attraction to Castiel, the way they, like, always end up around each other.
Yeah.
And the whole...
I don't know. It's...
Like, I'm watching the season 7 premiere, right? And the whole, like, you want to have a drink before you smite me? He's like, I'm not going to kill you. I have plans. And that whole thing. And they're like, I figure this isn't a negotiation, then I graciously accept. Their banter is really enjoyable for me. I'm always a sucker for witty banter.
Yeah, and it's especially funny once Cass gets, like, all the pop culture knowledge that Metatron had, over the years, and he, like, bestowed it upon Cass, and so all the interactions became just that much more sassy. Like, everything Cass did, it was just the slightest air different, and with Crowley, it came out in full force.
I don't know if I liked them better with Cass being, like, inept socially, or if I liked them better with Cass being, like, well-versed in pop culture knowledge. Because I enjoy season 6 and Crowley, like, making all these references and stuff and, like, cracking jokes. And Cass is like, I don't have time for this. But I also really enjoy season 12 when they're, like, poking fun at each other. It's like the age, it's like obviously they're aging, but, like, the maturity and, like, aging of their, like, friendship, I guess you could call it, that's really, 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 really enjoyable to watch. Even though they don't spend a whole lot of time together over the course of the show. And it's constantly like, oh, like, why are we working with him? Why are we working with him? And, like, why are we working with a demon? And it's like, be quiet. Like, you like him.
The thing is, I think we addressed this in the Sam episode, is that, Sam didn't really have as much of a relationship with Crowley, but Dean did. And, like, I think it's really funny that it went from Cass and Crowley to Crowley and Dean to Cass and Dean.
Yeah, they're, like, it's widely accepted that, like, Crowley and Cass were an item-ish during, like, season 6. And then, season 10, Crowley and Dean were a thing. And then Dean and Cass get together, and I just really, obviously it's not, like, funny, but it's kind of funny that Crowley got dumped by both of them for each other. I think the problem is my fixation is starting to peter out, which I really don't enjoy. I'm not over it yet. So that's why I'm, like, watching it. I'm like, I'm not done with this yet. Like, now it's transitioning less from Supernatural and, like, Cass into just, like, Misha as a person. Which was very obvious. But, the other thing, though, is, like, Cass and Crowley don't have a lot of content. They've got, like, a couple episodes, like, a couple stretches of episodes together in a couple of seasons. And that's, like, it. You know?
Yeah, so they have season 6, and then they have some interaction in season 10.
And season 12.
And then there's the whole season 12 thing. And that's the last. It's season 6 to season 12.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure there's, like, a handful of episodes in between there where they interact. But it's not like a Dean and Cas story arc or something like that stretches for a really long time. That's in, like, almost every episode. It's, like, a few one-off interactions per episode. I do, however, Mark and Misha's friendship is very important to me. M squared is so precious to me because they're both such chaotic human beings that they can just play off each other. Like, if you watch a panel of the two of them together, it's just like shit hits the fan and it happens fast. But also just like, Mark's wife being a fan that he met at a convention and then 4 years later ended up marrying her is just so beautiful to me. It means I have a chance. It means...
No?
He's not married anymore. I have a chance.
He's separated, not divorced.
They are divorced. It's official.
Did they officially get divorced?
Yeah, Misha brought it up on Road Food because he was eating something called divorce tacos, and he was like, "Oh, perfect for me." And he's not wearing his wedding ring anymore.
That's, I think it's really, he still really respects Nikki.
I think he still, like, obviously at some point he still loves Vicky, like, a lot. Obviously, like, they were together for 30-something years, like, they had 2 kids, whatever. But, like, he's not gonna be the kind of guy that's like, oh, yeah, like, it was terrible and I'm so glad we're separated. Like, even in his poetry book, in the acknowledgments in the back, it's like, my wife and I recently separated this year, and, like, a lot of these poems are about her, and I still really love her, but, this is for the best, whatever.
Yeah.
With them being separated, it's like love isn't real,
Oh.
No, I'm kidding, but it is very sad because it was like, oh, look at these, like, high school sweethearts, they've been together since they were, our age. But it's also like, a friend of mine brought up to me, they were like, if you're high school sweethearts, like, you guys really didn't have a chance to grow as separate people. Which I'm like, yeah, I guess, like, if you're a relationship from the time you're, like, a literal child to the time you're, in your 40s and have 2 kids and whatever and, like, established careers. I'm like, yeah, I guess, but, like, the other thing is, like, you're growing together. It's not that you need to be separated, it's that you're growing as 2 different people together, which I think is something really valuable that a lot of people don't talk about.
It's deep.
I know. I'm so smart. I got some really good thoughts sometimes. Oh, so I got my ear pierced, right? And I was, like, talking to some people about it, and I was just like, piercings are like infinity stones, but for gay people. I was like, we collect them all no matter what cost. Which is true, because pain.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other things, because I know you sent me that TikTok earlier that was like, oh, autistic, like, special interest info dumping. And that's basically what we do anyway. We start off with a plan, and then we just go somewhere totally different. Which is fine. We don't have a lot of listeners, so we can kind of do whatever we want.
We have a baseline, and then I'll probably just stop cutting out all the little tangents we go on unless they're, like, completely out of the box identity revealing stuff.
Oh, my Misha phone case is coming in the mail. It should be here in a few days, so that's exciting. It was almost $30. Like, damn. I got paid last Friday. Got paid $300 something. My mom took $100 out to put in my savings account. And that left me with, $223. Spent 30 something on the phone case. Or actually it was 27. I lied. 27 on the phone case. And then do you know how much I spent on gas? $61.
Yeah, because you're Jeep.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry. Sarge sucks like that.
Don't you insult my car like that. Sarge is wonderful. It's not his fault he needs a lot of gas all the time.
It's because he's a freaking Jeep.
He's a tank.
Granted, my car,
Miss Premium Gas over there.
Yeah, I have to use premium gas, except I filled up my tank, and it was like $4.30 a gallon. And then I couldn't use my car for 3 weeks because it couldn't start up. So
Right.
I'm still running on the same tank of gas, and I haven't had to pay for, I'm not going to have, like, my, the time between fill-ups is, like, doubled. So,
Must be nice.
good to me.
Must be nice. I need to get gas. I have 3/4 of a tank right now. But I've got 3/4 of a tank, but I should fill it up before.
Wait, did you notice me when we were going to Target? Well,
Yeah,
I was
you were
going
in front
to
of me.
Target. I was following you, and I'm like, "Where did you go?" Because
Well,
you didn't go to Target. You went past. I'm like, "Is she going to Steak and Shake?"
Well, I was going to Chick-fil-A. That's what I was doing.
I see. See, I got Milanos. I got.
Did you get a Squishmallow?
Protein bars. What?
Did you get a Squishmallow?
I did not get a Squishmallow.
Why not? Why would
I
you
didn't.
go to Target and not buy a Squishmallow?
Because I don't have use for Squishmallows.
What do you mean? Look at these. These are emotional
I don't have
support. Look at this little face. They're also great pillows.
I don't mentally register that I have emotions, so why would I need emotional support things?
Because look at their sweet little faces.
I absolutely love
excessive amount of them in my closet, so I'm emotionally unstable.
I don't think I got rid of any of my childhood stuffed animals. I think they're all shoved in backpacks and like other bags that I had.
It's Gato. I've had Gato since I was, God, I don't know, 4 years old maybe? Oh, is he ripping? No. It was my Baba's.
Let's see.
She gave him to me.
Let's see. This is my blankie.
Blakey, I have
It
a
was
blankie.
handmade for me. Yeah. She's starting to get a little bit of tearing in the corners. It's but no like official holes.
You want to talk about tearing? Hold on, there's like a gaping hole in my blankie. I'll show you. I just haven't sewn it back up yet. I did before, and then it came undone again because the thread wasn't tight enough. Where is the gaping hole in my blanket? I'm gonna find it. There it is. I found it. Look. Told you, gaping hole in my blanket. But it doesn't really bother me anymore because, I mean, I'm not, like, actively pulling it apart, so. But I've had Blanky since I was born, and I've had Gato since I was, like, 4. So, they're my comfort items, if you will. I did lose Gato once. I lost him for, like, a whole year. Yes, the security stuffed animals. The best thing about Gato is that his stomach is flat. I do love him very dearly. I lost him once for a whole year, and he ended up just being in the front pocket of a suitcase.
Oh. I never went on sleepovers. I had sleepovers with the same one person.
Yeah. I took
over and over and over
I
again.
never took gato anywhere growing up, except for my best friend's house. Cause like worst case, if I left it over there, I was like, I'll probably be back next weekend. So, but like green blankie, to this day, goes everywhere with me. Like friends' houses, vacations, sometimes to the doctor's office if I'm extra scared. Like when I was younger and had strep throat and shit, I would take green blankie with me. Or like when I was in the hospital, I took green blankie with me. That kind of thing. Or like if I had to get a shot, I'd take my blanket with me. But to this day, goes everywhere. Especially if I'm gonna stay overnight. Which my mom kind of makes fun of me for it sometimes, but like, I'm never getting rid of this blanket.
Oh, yeah, no, me neither.
It's still in pretty decent shape, so I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be crazy when we go to college, though, and I take green blankie with me.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. This is totally coming with me. Both of them.
Soft fabric right here used to be the, like, bumpy kind. You can still kind of see the bumps, but there are no bumps left. Like, the fabric is completely flat. I rubbed them all out during my childhood. When I was really little, I used to like the scratchy side against my skin. Like, I could only sleep with the scratchy side against my skin. But now that I'm older, I have to have the soft side against my skin. Either that or I just wad it up by my face.
Oh, fun thing. I'm on Linguist TikTok now. And I'm so happy.
Speaking of TikToks, my mother just sent me one.
Gosh, I'm just so happy. I literally just watched a 2 to 3 minute video on how we don't pronounce the T's at the end of words. They end up being like D's or some like repressed T sound, like cat. We don't say cat, we say cat. And it's like, you can tell that there's supposed to be a T there, but like we also just don't pronounce it. And
it's also a Midwestern thing. The way, like, T's are pronounced like D's, it's a Midwestern thing as well.
Well, yeah, that's because it totally got me thinking about, like, hey, like, different accents would pronounce these words differently. And that's, it's, like, what vowels you do and do not, pronounce is how, like... is one way a accent develops. It's like it differentiates from others. Oh my goodness.
Or
super worn out.
If you're somebody that we know, accents are dialects.
Yeah.
No names will be named, but you know who you are if you're listening. Got my eyes on you.
I'm also almost finished with my first book in 2 years.
Seriously?
I mean, finished reading my first full book in 2 years. I'm not counting school books, because I would actually fully read school books even if they said that we weren't going to fully read them. That's what I did with The 12th Night. But this is The Midsummer Night's Dream, and I think I'm on the last scene.
The only book for school I ever read in full was The Crucible. And I don't know if it's because it was written like a script or if because I was fixated on John Proctor, but whatever it was, I loved that book, and that's the only one.
I forgot your thing for John Proctor.
I don't get it either. I think it's just because he was a DILF. That was like the only thing.
Yeah, Crucible I really enjoyed. I also have a thing for Shakespeare. And no, it's not because he's some great artist. I think he's just really funny. And he doesn't take himself seriously. He's literally just performing for commoners. That's like what his plays were for. And granted, this Midsummer Night's Dream isn't the best. It isn't my favorite. It was like, because it's supposed to be like a comedy.
Uh-huh.
But like, so the first 2 acts were great. like, first 2 or 3 acts were great, and it was a lot of chaos, and you're just like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And the last 2 acts were like, go fixing your mistakes, and then like the whole conclusion. Got it at Barnes & Noble. It'd probably be best if I just go down to a half-price books and got them, though.
Probably.
Because this was like 12 bucks.
I haven't even finished reading Misha's poetry book. Like, I haven't picked it back up in a long time. It just sits on my printer, staring at me. The last one I read was the one about sex, and it kind of threw me for a loop because I was at school. I was so awkward. I was sitting there in pre-calc reading this, and I was like, it's like, Misha Collins, I am in school. But it's whatever. I fixated on The Great Gatsby for a while. That was interesting. I wrote an essay at 2:00 in the morning, and it was a good essay, mind you, and it was a few pages long, about with evidence, with in-text citations, about why Nick Carraway was gay.
Yep, I remember you talking about that.
And I titled the episode, or not the episode, the essay, titled it "The Gay Gatsby."
Smart.
I know. I have such a talent with words. I'm kidding. I kid. But
I still have to finish
then,
that essay for comp. I mean, technically, I could probably turn it in.
I'm not going to say that I'm proud of it, but I will say that I wrote Great Gatsby fan fiction.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't say I was proud of it, and I never said it was bad writing.
The book wasn't even that good.
It was a great book. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was not good. I can agree that The Crucible was good. I can agree that The Great Expectations was bad. The only thing that got me through that book was the not romance between Pip and Estella.
I literally did not read that book.
Oh, I did. I still have it. I actually bought the book.
Yeah, so do I. I have a copy somewhere.
Ooh.
I might have thrown it away.
No, I'm very happy to say that I do have my own copy of The Crucible. And
that I cannot brag. I do not have a copy.
My middle school era was like YA fantasy.
Of course it was.
That's like what all my bookshelves are full of. And like there's like a handful, there's like YA fantasy, dystopian fantasy, like medieval fantasy, Sarah J. Maas, Brandon Sanderson, stuff like that. But like high school and probably college is going to be like classical Shakespeare, poetry, stuff like that.
That's the one thing I don't own a lot of books anymore. Like, when I was younger, I used to fly through, like, 5 or 6 books in a day. And now I, like, don't read it. And I was reading the Shadowhunter series in middle school. And then I just stopped. And I have the 5th and 6th book. I just haven't read them. Well, I was halfway through the 5th one, and then I just stopped. I don't know why. See, like, you have a bookshelf with books on it. I have a bookshelf with random shit on it. Okay, well, it's not really a bookshelf. It's just a shelf. It's got, like, my TV. Well, my TV's mounted to the wall. But, like, my record player and my coin jar and shit. They're all over there. My old hat for work.
Yeah. I have a set of D&D books. My whole bottom shelf is full of, like, nonfiction books on, like, sewing and art and articles I printed out in yearbooks and stuff like that. I also have a wicked, I think there's an original cast wicked book. Nope, not original cast, so it's just for my play. But, you know, this whole thing that every person saw when they were 9 years old.
Hey man, I've never seen Wicked, so that's more than I can say.
Seriously? Oh, it was so fun. I really enjoyed it. I can still sometimes remember the words. I actually did this magnificent dance in front of my parents. Because, ever seen the show Lip Sync Battle?
Yes.
Tom Holland was on it with Zendaya and stuff. So, occasionally my brother, my family would like watch an episode, and so me and my brother, I think 3 times, picked songs and then created performances and for our parents to judge. And one of the songs I did was Popular. I did, however, lose that particular one. It was too complicated. But I did win. I did win Agony from my song was Agony from
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the movie Chris Pine version.
The movie version.
And I borrowed my brother's like muscular like the foam muscles that you get like little boys get to wear under costumes and stuff to make them look buff. I wore one of those and had like a whole bunch of hoodies on top, so whenever the characters in the movie, when like they'd like rip open their shirts and stuff, so I'd unzip my hoodie and then there'd be another underneath, and then unzip that hoodie, and then there'd be abs.
Well, you can't say there wasn't production value.
Let me tell you, I think we videotaped it. I have no idea where it is. It's probably somewhere on the family iCloud, but whew,
I'm so glad my parents
that was a
don't
time.
have, like, a lot of proof of my weird-ass childhood. Like, I was a weird kid. Alright, do we want to wrap up? It's getting a little bit, a wee bit late.
Yeah. We'll
All
just
right.
say that this episode was one thing. We covered it, and then we went on a tangent.
Yeah. I mean...
Cas and Crowley plus tangent.
Cas and Crowley plus every thought we've ever had.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. Maybe we can transition this podcast less into supernatural-based, necessarily, and just talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, you did say something
Like,
to
we
me
can...
about, like, a specific interest podcast. That's basically what this is anyway. It's just that now, like, my specific interest is kind of shifting. So it's like...
Yeah, and we don't have to necessarily do it on the supernatural thing.
Right.
We can do it on Daredevil. No, we can't do it. Well, we can talk about it in Shameless. And
it's on Disney Plus now.
It's on Disney. You can watch it.
Except, I don't know the
yeah.
password, so my settings are on TV 14, so it won't let me watch Daredevil. So I have to change that so I can watch Daredevil, because it's killing me. I want to watch it so bad. Want to know what the hype is about. But all right.
Actually, I don't know.
What? What? I can see the thought behind your eyes.
You know, the first scene of Daredevil is Matt. He's sitting down in confession and saying, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm seeking penance for what I'm going to do." His whole thing is religious trauma / alignment / anything, and which is why I really, align with it. But like your whole thing is like, I don't. Yeah, it's not like heavy on religion, but it's also like heavy on religion.
Like his whole thing is that he's Catholic.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen season 3 yet, but I've seen clips, and he's really good friends with his pastor, and he ends up like practically dying at some point, and ends up like living his life away in his Catholic church, like in the basement or whatever, as he recovers, like dealing with the whole he's like a devil, but he's Catholic sort of thing.
Sounds hot. Emotional turmoil.
Oh my gosh, there's so much.
Alright.
We have been Cass and Arya, and I'm sorry for the tangent we went on. This might be a more reoccurring thing. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but gotta deal with it now. It's our podcast. Anyway, if you'd like to, interact with us, come join us on Twitter and Instagram, where we have not been the most active lately, but we do post occasionally. And it's fun, and we'd like to talk to you guys if you guys wanted to chat, So next week's episode is gonna be something. Let's have it be a mystery, okay? And we'll see ya